welcome back. So today I kind of want to talk about the Joe Rogan thing, and I'm gonna mix in Kyle Kulinski, with this because I think that he's a good example of the problem that I'm having with what I see going on with a lot of people trying to defend Joe Rogan, and I see it on both sides. I understand that people are up in arms because of all the censorship, that's going on, and I hate it. I mean, I've gotten kicked off of Twitter, and I told people the truth. So it leaves a really bad taste in your mouth when you are silenced and you haven't done anything. And then the other thing about it that really kind of gets to me is that I didn't get a chance to apologize to anybody. They just snatched my stuff off and suspended my account. Joe Rogan gets to apologize and still maintain all of his stuff. He still gets to do his $100 million, thing. He still gets to be on all the social media, and I don't. So yeah, I do get it, on one side. I also understand points like Sam Cedar when he's talking about corporate interests and how the corporation who is backing him, which is Spotify, has a responsibility for the content, that's on their platform. So it really is not a matter of censorship when it comes to corporate power, because they're going to do whatever is in their best interest. So right now, their best interest is to have Joe Rogan still maintain a position, within their company. If it ever got to the point where he was costing them, more than what they could make off of him, then he would have to go. So it wouldn't be no love, for Joe if he starts messing up their money. And then I understand what people like Trevor Noah, are saying, and I really appreciate his voice. So I'm going to play that, part that I think that was really interesting in what he had to say. So when you look at people like Kyle Kulinski, it's disturbing. I mean, because like I said, I once liked this dude. So it's kind of hard to go from liking somebody to just, I loathe him now. I just loathe him. He has this real bad habit of doubling down on the dumbest stuff. So instead of him just saying that he's wrong, and just owning up, to it, he'll double down, and it's just so ridiculous. It's insane, and I look at it as a person, who had to look at my own hypocrisy. What I was saying or what I was doing wasn't lining up, and so I had to one day just take a look at myself and say, hey, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? How are we going to represent ourselves? And I had to come to a point where if I find that I'm wrong about something and it's being pointed out to me, I have to admit, wow, I got that wrong. And it has actually worked out better for me than when I used to try to ignore my incongruency that people can see. And then some people, they won't say anything to you, but they'll see it and they'll walk away thinking that you're a hypocrite, even though they won't tell you. And then you got people who will confront you about it and make you mad and put you, in a defensive, posture about it. So not being defensive and owning up to when you're wrong is really actually the way to go. And I don't know what's going to happen with Kyle, with this mess. I don't see anything positive coming out of it, for him. But, he's riding this white privilege thing. So white people get to do stuff that other people fail, at. They get to fail upwards. They can be all kinds of jacked up and still end up being multi-millionaires. So Kyle's story is still yet to be told. I don't have any respect for him anymore. And even if he, apologizes and corrects himself, I'll be glad for him, but I can't respect him anymore. And this thing that he got going on with Joe Rogan is really one of them. You know, people have been complaining about Joe Rogan for years, and colleges and people like him, not just him, people like him, have been ignoring that, forever. And then when some actual evidence finally comes out for everybody to examine for themselves about Joe Rogan, he still is defending things about Rogan that are indefensible. And the thirst that I see coming off of him, I mean, him and Jimmy Dore sound exactly the same on this subject. And it's disgusting. And Kyle thinks that he's making some kind of principled, stand. He thinks he's standing up for a friend. He thinks that this is going to benefit him, in the future. And it seems to me like he cares about what Joe Rogan thinks and feels about him more than he does his listeners and people who pay for, Patreon subscriptions, from him, and who subscribe, to his channel and listen to his videos, every day. Those are the people that you need, that, in my opinion, he should find that he is looking for their respect more than he would respect of Joe Rogan. So that's kind of backwards, to me too. And for people who are simps for Kyle, the same way that Kyle is to Joe Rogan, I mean, all y'all look stupid. This is a cult of personality dystopia that we're living in today. So if I like you and you're, you've had a good history with me, then I'm going to defend you even when you're wrong. I've never had that before. Nobody has ever stood like that, by my side, when I was wrong. Every time I'm wrong, people are always up in my face. So this is just something really new. It's awakening for me. It's not really new. I mean, in the back of our minds, we know that this has always happened. But the depths that I'm seeing it now is just really stunning. And it's concerning because I see a lot of black people defending the mess that Joe Rogan has going on. And the other part about it is the white people that I see, they're so desensitized to the word nigger that a person like Joe Rogan can get away with saying it. And it's like, well, why would you be offended because he said it? He said it in context. No, he shouldn't be saying it at all. How about that? I mean, one of the things in my personal life that I can't stand is when people get too comfortable around me. They start thinking that they can just start talking. No, you can't just start talking. You need to monitor your mouth at all times when you're having a discussion with me. I don't care who you are. You can be my husband. And if something comes out of his mouth that I don't appreciate, everything is going to come to a screeching halt. It's like, what did you just say? I'm sorry? Yeah. So no, white people, just don't say it. Let it go. And when you defend it, it makes people like me, you really don't want to do that. That is a dangerous avenue for you guys to want to walk down. So, I'm just giving you that warning because I'm already tired of white people. I'm so sick of white bullshit, I don't even know what to do with myself. So yeah, when this Joe Rogan thing, and I'm looking at Kyle, and I'm looking at everybody who's defending Joe Rogan, and oh well, he can say what he wants to say. It's a freedom of speech. Okay, I got your freedom of speech. So, I don't know. I'm going to play this thing, with Trevor Noah, I'm sorry. And I'll say something else on the back end to close everything out. So, here we go.
Apologized. This was strange. A lot of people were arguing sort of against his apology, saying that the N-word with context is totally fine for a white person to say. Yeah, You know, and I understand what they're saying. Like, you know, maybe you're a professor teaching history. Maybe you're a news anchor reporting on a story about Joe Rogan. Maybe you're in a Quentin Tarantino movie and you have to use the N-word, because if you don't, then the movie has no dialogue. But, for the most part, as a white person, you never need to use the N-word. There's no, like, need. For example, I've gone this entire story saying the N-word, and everyone has understood exactly what I've meant, right? Nobody's sitting at home going, Nutella? Neanderthal? Nelly Furtado? Why is Trevor being so vague? What is the word? In fact, here's a life hack for white people. Saying the actual N-word puts you in unnecessary trouble, especially if you're not racist. It doesn't matter the context, because black people don't have the time to sit down and sort out the racist who says the N-word 70 times with the non-racist who says the N-word 70 times. Black people are dealing with too much shit. No, look at how I was using it. No, dude, no one's got the time for that. Just stop saying it, or just be racist. It's easier for everyone that way. So look, I'm glad that Joe Rogan has gone, you know what, I didn't need to use that word all those times, because people need to learn, and I'm glad that he has, right? So Joe Rogan is saying that him using the word in context wasn't racist, but it was ignorant and not cool. Okay, fine. But don't forget, there's also the story where Joe Rogan calls black people apes. And so for that part of the apology, Joe Rogan says this.
I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure fucking sounded like that. I was just saying there's a lot of black people there. But then I went on to talk about what a positive experience it was and how much fun it was to go to see this movie in a black neighborhood. It wasn't a racist story, but it sounded terrible. It's a fucking idiotic thing to say, and I was just trying to be entertaining. I certainly wasn't trying to be racist, and I certainly would never want to offend someone for entertainment with something as stupid as racism.
All right, I'm not going to lie. I have a few issues with this part of the video. First of all, he says he would never say black people are apes, but he said that. That's literally what he said. If you said you walked into a black place and it was Planet of the Apes, then you've said that. You've said, you can't be like, oh, no, I didn't say it. You did say it, which is racist, right? And it's not just racist. Like, let's be honest about it. It's not just racist. That's like OG racism. That's like the original old school, like that's on the Mount Rushmore of racism, you know? Black people are apes. It's right next to burning crosses and then like every Bugs Bunny cartoon from the 1940s. What I found particularly illuminating is when he says, I wasn't being racist, I was just being entertaining. No, Joe, I think you were using racism to be entertaining. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying you were trying to offend black people, by the way, but you knew that offending black people would get a laugh out of those white friends that you were with. And please understand this, guys. I'm a comedian, right? Which you would know if I had a live audience right now. Yeah. They would be like, ha ha, Trevor, you're the greatest of all time. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, but I am a comedian, and I love making jokes, and I love hearing jokes, and I love all kinds of jokes, right? I love safe jokes. I like dark jokes. I like jokes. But just because something is a joke doesn't mean it can't be something else as well, because a joke can be racist, right? In fact, a joke can be racist and funny if you're telling it to the right crowd. It's no joke where somebody, it's never funny. Yeah, someone can find it funny. But the laughs don't mean that there's no racism. Think of it this way. If I rob a bank and I get busted, I can't defend myself by saying, nah, guys, I did it as a joke. Yeah, but you pistol whipped the bank teller. Yeah, but I made a funny sound when I did it. I was like, give me the money, bitch. So do I get to go now? So yeah, Joe Rogan is saying that he would never say something racist. And now, because of that, obviously in the video, a lot of his fans are like, yeah, he would never say something racist. It's just a joke. You guys are uptight. He would never say something racist. A joke is not racist. And you know what? I can have my opinion, and you can have your opinion. Fine. But you know whose opinion I think matters more than most people? Is Joe Rogan. And here's what Joe Rogan said about his joke when he said it.
We walked into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door, and there was no white